I came from one of the most poorest family background you can think of. I give credit to the background because it has helped shape my mentality to where I am today. I remember those days when I used to trek from Wadata Police Barrack to go to high level to attend school. Apart from that, before I go to the school, I have to go to my father's sugarcane farm, then attend the school because the farm is just by the school. Unfortunately for me, again, as a child, I didn't grow up with my father and my mother. You understand? I grew up with my stepmom, so that makes the journey to be even more tougher for me. My father was married to 3 wives, but again, my mother was the last wife. So my life was full of struggles, and that's the truth. Because I remember there was one time that I did notice to my stepmom, she was trying to beat me up, and for me trying to run away, she skipped her foot and fell down. And when my dad came, the story was different. She told my dad that I pushed her, and that was one of the worst days of my life because I received the beating of my life for doing nothing. I was equally the one that took care of her until her death. She died in my hands. The truth is this, yeah? There's no journey that has always been 110% smooth and successful. Anytime you feel down on anything you try to do, right? Always don't give up.
I noticed that most of you that watch our videos are not actually subscribed to our channels. Please subscribe to our channel because in that way, it keeps us doing what we're doing here at LTH to keep interviewing change makers, people who have achieved something out of nothing, people who have real stories to inspire you, our audience. Please subscribe to our channels. So could you give us a brief about that?
A brief about my childhood. Yeah, my childhood was very struggling as a young man because I actually came from a very poor family background. And so my childhood was not really that pleasant. But again, as time goes on, probably in the middle of our interview, you get to equally know why the background, the childhood, was equally a blessing to where I am today.
Interesting.
Yeah, and that's the truth because, like I said, I came from one of the most poorest family background you can think of. Yeah. But today the story is different, and I give credit to the background because it has helped shape my mentality to where I am today. It has helped, again, to help me have the financial discipline that I have today in doing all that I am doing because I don't want to go back to where I'm coming from. So thinking of it alone naturally helps me manage the business and the finances and whatever it is very well. And so at the end of the day, if you look at it properly, it's equally a blessing at the end of the day. That's the truth. So my childhood was very struggling. I remember those days when I used to trek from Wadata Police Barrack to go to high level to attend school. Apart from that, before I go to the school, I have to go to my father's sugarcane farm, do one or little jobs before I take my bath in the farm, then attend the school because the farm is just by the school, you know. So all those things. So but again, it taught me a lot of things about resilience and focus. So I think my background wasn't that pleasant, but at the end of the day, it was a blessing to me.
How could you describe yourself as a child?
Very promiscuous and someone that really wanted to grow, wanted to come out of that share of, like I said, the very poor family background. So I am somebody that arrived from childhood, right? I was a goal-getter, like I said. I was a very resilient young man. So I think right from childhood, I have been that personality that needed this growth and that wanted it. And I did all I could, follow the positive and right way to get into where I am today.
Okay, this is good to know. But I would like to know also, is there what lesson did you learn from your father or your mother while growing up that shaped you today?
A lot of lessons, but unfortunately for me, again, as a child, I didn't grow up with my father and my mother. You understand? I grew up with my stepmom. So that makes the journey to be even more tougher for me. You understand? Because my father was married to 3 wives. So I came from a polygamous home. But again, my mother was the last wife. Then at that point, that was when my father now gave his life to Christ to become a completely born again and a pastor. And so I came from an Orthodox background. And the background never allowed him to keep the 3 wives. So he had to let go of 2 of the wives, that's the second and third wives, which my mom fall within that category. So she had to go. And that was when I was giving birth to her. I was the last son of my dad. So she had to live with me. So my life was full of struggles, and that's the truth. So as a young man that was just, as a child, I was just giving birth, and that issue came up. My mom left with me because I was the last born, and there was no way she would have left me, because I think it was even less than a year when she gave it to me that my dad had to give his life to Christ. But you see, I left and I grew up with my grandmom before my mom remarried again. And that was the point my dad called me to come back to where he is, because he never wanted me to grow with another man. So I never had that both parental love and guidance. Do you understand? Both parents staying together. So again, it was a really tough period for me, because my grandmom is among these Nigerian movies that you see. She never liked me, and so I went through a whole lot of struggles and issues, and all of that. So, but again, my father, like I said, he gave his life to Christ and he became a born-again Christian. So I grew up in this very strong Christian background. So I'm the type that, every day there was this Christian worship that was on in my father's house. So every day, whether I like it or not, I must attend, right? So that helped again shape my mentality and thinking. And like I said, my background growing up, trust me, made me who I am today. Because one thing that I learned from my father growing up again is the fear of God, is knowing how to do things right, is that you have to learn how to love people, you understand, and learn how to be straight and focused. And so these are the things that I've equally learned from my father. Again, because I remember there was one time that I did nothing to my stepmom, and she was trying to beat me up, and for me trying to run away, she skipped her foot and fell down. And when my dad came, the story was different. She told my dad that I pushed her. And that was one of the worst days of my life, because I received the beating of my life for doing nothing. You understand? So I can give you this kind of experiences back to back. But the good thing is that, I never paid her back in the same coin that she treated me. That is where God has made me a little bit different. You understand? Because before she died, on her sick bed, she had to call me to apologize to me. You understand? Because I was equally the one that took care of her until her death. She died in my hands. Do you understand? But a whole lot of things that she did to me, I never paid her back, because I knew that time that she wasn't my mom, and the anointing, and trust me, and I could understand where she's coming from, because she was barren. She never had a child. So I guess probably then the whole anger was done on some of us, the kids. And unfortunately for me, like I said, I was the last son, and I was the last child to be brought back to my father. You understand? So I grew up practically with her. And at the point, all my elder ones left the house for greener pastures. So I was the only one that actually grew up with her and my father. So I practically was doing everything. All the household things, I was the one doing it. And I have to go to the farm again, you get. And then before I go to school, I went through a lot. That's the truth. I went through a lot. But like I said, it's a bittersweet experience for me, because it has helped to make me who I am today.
So could you help us with a brief definition of success and failure?
It's relative anyway. Do you understand? It's relative. Success can be defined for me too as what you desire to want to be and achieving what you want to be. It can be success. Do you understand? People look at success from a very huge perspective of life. There are different means to it. For example, I can tell you that I, Kefas, I see myself as a very successful person in the field of business that I do. I might not have the whole money, do you understand? But I'm very contented for some few reasons. My life is all about building people, building institutions. That is what I look at. You understand? And for me, that is wealth. And this particular place you're interviewing me today, I can tell you for free that I'm the first young person to have a car showroom in the city center of Abuja.
That's big.
110%. If you remember when El-Rufai was the FCT minister, that was when he gave instruction that everybody selling cars should move out of Abuja to Kuba Road.
Yeah, I remember.
And that is the reason why Kuba Road is in existence now, with all the dealership you are seeing on Kuba Road. You get, and I can remember then that the only car showroom there that you can find inside Abuja city was Coast Cherries.
Yeah, I did.
Do you understand? I think Elizabeth too was a little bit outskirts of town, but not really inside town. You understand? So with that, I now told myself, because I mean, I went to school, right? And I know again that even in all the developed countries, there are showrooms inside city. There are places of car sales inside city that are very organized. And that is when I said to myself, oh, I need to think outside the box. I need to act differently from other people that did not go to school. And I told myself, no, I can own a car showroom inside the city of Abuja. And I remember when I commissioned this place, a whole lot of people came, and I did all of this still in faith. Trust me, I was the only person that refused to go to Kuba Road. And that is how this place came to be. And that is why I am equally a believer that people always say that every disappointment will end up being a blessing. And that defined my growth today. You understand? Because, yeah, I understood very much that time that everybody was, we're finished. As in, how can we move to Kuba Road and all of that? You get it? But I was bold enough to say, let me have a show. That's why I'm telling you that I'm the first person to have a show. Right? And so this showroom now has been existent for almost 2 decades. And I can tell you for free, most of the big dealerships you see in Abuja today are born out of this place. A whole lot of them have worked under this place and have worked with me. Abuja Car was one of my staff. You understand? Wow. Abuja Car was working with somebody that was managing my branch office in Garki, which is Mujab Automobile. Mujab Automobile was the one managing my branch office. Abuja Car was under him. But you know their story today. They're one of the big players in the industry today. Kabwal Moto is one of my staff. He was equally worked with me for almost about 8 years. Wow. Kakanda Auto too was one of the people that we started this place together. He was equally here. Do you understand? A whole lot of others too that today they've opened their places. So for me, how can you define success when people around you have equally grown to be in the same business like you are and are competing with you even better? Now, I can tell you for free, I don't envy anybody. What I do is I pray for people. And that's the truth. And if they want to be sincere, you should go to them and tell them this is what I said. Right? I remember in those days when we're here, I hold monthly meeting with almost all of them. And what I used to tell them is simple. If tomorrow somebody will not come out of this place, or some people will not come out of this place and become better than I am, that means I have not achieved. That means I'm not successful. So I see myself as a very fulfilled person in this industry. And there are a lot of people that are equally coming out of this business. Now, even in those places that I've mentioned, some people have worked with them too that have decided to come out of them and equally having their own place. If they want to write their story today, there's no way they're not going to mention Kefiano. For me, that's the definition of success. Now, you can relate that to other businesses and you can relate that to other aspects of life. And for me, that is the definition of success. And if I want to define failure too, I can define it in everything you've designed and struggled for and cannot achieve. And so it's relative. We can't tie it to one particular thing, right? And so that's what I see and define and I make an example of as success and failure.
Okay. So do you mind if I ask this? Was there any points in your growing up that you failed on something, but later realized you could have won on that same thing?
The truth is this, yeah? There's no journey that has always been 110% smooth and successful. Right? And you see, the advantage of what you ask me or that situation you find yourself, right, is that anytime you feel down on anything you're trying to do, right, always don't give up. Just continue pushing, right? And most times, out of experience, right, that thing that seems to look like not an achievement to you or that you've not achieved, right, that you try to, by the time you keep pushing, you're definitely going to get there. And at the end of the day, it now ends up being an experience for you that is worthwhile. There's no businessman that will tell you that he hasn't gone through trying times. It's not possible.
It's true.
It's not possible. Your ability to keep pushing is what makes you who you are. But once you give up, it becomes a failure. And one thing I can tell you for free, I've never given up on anything. And there's nothing I've set my hands to do that I don't achieve. Trust me. There's nothing that I've ever set my eyes on to do that I don't achieve. I might start it wrongly. I might not get it right in the first instance, but trust me, by the time you keep pushing and you know what you want to achieve and you're doing it right in the right way, you are definitely going to achieve it.
True.
And that is why in everything that you do, think of consistency.
Actually, I agree with you on that. But I'd like to ask as well, did you try any other business?
A lot.
Okay.
A lot. There's no businessman that should stick to one particular business. I do a lot of things, and I've tried to do a lot of things.
During your starting times?
But during my starting time, you cannot do two things at the same time for anybody that is smart. And that is the reason why a lot of people end up failing. You cannot do multiple things at the same time. You have to master one and begin to earn profit on one. Then you can begin to bring out of the profit to invest in other interests that you have. That's the only way you can get it right. And you see, business generally is not a function of how much you have. It's a function of your experience. It's a function of what you know in the business. And that's why a lot of people, you can give them every capital that you think you want to give them, right? They start off the business, you see it big and you see it going down gradually because why? They did not build it from scratch. They don't have any experience. And so that is the reason why, again, in some of the businesses that I venture in, it did not go well the way I want because I don't have the experience. But I equally try to invest in some person that I think have the experience. For, again, investing in people in Nigeria is a whole lot of topic on its own because people betray a lot of investment trusts. Do you understand? So I do a lot of businesses. Like I said, I can remember very well that when I started and this business is very, very growing very well, a lot of younger people came to me with technology ideas. I invested. In fact, there's a company that I invested, Junction Global Resources. I invested over 100 and something million. You can remember over 10 years ago.
Wow.
So you can tell me what that figure is all about right now. Yeah.
Wow.
Now, that company is among the tech, the first tech companies that were coming up that today they're supposed to be very big. Though just recently, the person in charge of the company just came to brief me again. I'm somebody that doesn't give up, and I still want to reinvest into it. Do you understand? And I still don't see that as a failure because they are still pushing. They might not get to where they want to get to, but I still want to build an interest again in it. There are different things that I've invested on. Some are doing well, some are not doing well. But as a business person, once you're growing, you don't have to rely on one particular business. You have to think of how to diversify so that if one business is not doing well, the other can cover up for you. Because there are no businesses that can go 110% the way you want.
True.
Every time. There are definitely going to be challenges. For instance, right? I have one investment I did on the plateau, which is the resort I have on the plateau, right? During COVID-19, there was somebody that was moving. So you can't sell cars. But the hospitality business was the only thing that people were making money from it. And so that was what was surviving me for this number of period during the COVID-19 period. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Now, as a business person here, you can have businesses that are capital intensive. Then you should equally have businesses that gives you daily income. It is possible. And as a serious business person, you don't underrate anything that comes to you. Every business you do, no matter little it comes, yeah, it has something that it covers for you. Like for me, I'm equally humanitarian. I have an orphanage home. I have a lot of people that I take care of. As I'm talking to you, I have over 2,500 videos that is under my social welfare scheme that I take care of. I've been doing that for the past 15 years plus. I have 25 adopted children. I do a lot of prison visits. I've released about 147 prisoners. So you understand? I equally do a whole lot of humanitarian activities. I have done comprehensive free medical treatment for over 80-something thousand people. I have done comprehensive surgeries for over 4,000 plus people. You think the money all is coming from only this source? No. That's why I have to diversify to do a lot of things so that I can meet up all these demands and challenges that comes to me. For me, if it's just about myself, I'm very comfortable. Trust me, I'm very comfortable. And like I said, this business has been a blessing to me because of where I'm coming from. So the next aspect of my life is how I can bless other people, how people can benefit from me, and what can I be remembered for? I'm 50 years already. So for me, from 50, I've started declining, whether I like it or not. And in declining, how many years do I have to live more? And all that I want to be remembered for, Kefas, is not how much money I have, but how many people I have built or how many people have benefited from me in this life. That's all I'm thinking about. You understand? And that's the reason why I try as much as I can to be building other businesses. For me, I think this business has been fair to me. The next thing I want to do in this business, trust me, is to get my assembling plant. But if I success in selling of cars, I can hit my chest to tell you, right? As I'm sitting down here, everybody doing car business in Abuja today, I don't want to talk about Nigeria. Let me limit it to Abuja. Everybody doing car business in Abuja today knows my journey and knows where I've gotten to as far as this business is concerned. You understand? There was a time in Abuja that I am the only person that sells cars. Everybody wants to be here. People know what I'm talking about. So I laugh today when I see, there was one time I saw something on social media, I think about 2-3 weeks ago, where somebody is trying to make comparison between Kefiano, Autos and Abuja car and Seriki Motor, who sells more in terms of cars. Please go and interview them. Everybody is desirous of growing. And my prayer is for everybody to grow. But trust me, what I've seen in this business and what God has done for me in this business is overwhelming. And if I want to go by what I do for people with everything I'm talking about, I've seen wealth, I've seen a lot. But for me, it's not it. I see myself as a privileged individual, not like someone that knows more than anybody. Because that's not the reason why I got to that level. No. And that's why I don't sing praises of it, because it's not important. God can decide to lift anybody to be more than me tomorrow.
Well, this is actually interesting to have heard this about your story. But sir, can we go back? I watched the video where you were interviewed and you said something about when you started with about 200,000 naira being your dad's retirement fare. So could that be described as a spark for you then? I think you were selling second-hand clothes.
It was more than a spark. Wow. That's why I said to you, my whole story is a whole lot of episode. If you want to know about it, we can have time. It's going to take me probably a whole day to understand my story. And trust me, it's going to be a bestseller. If you make it in a movie,
I can tell.
You will not understand. That's why I say at times I like to say it because I see myself as a motivational speaker to encourage a lot of younger ones that think they don't have hope.
That's big.
Like I said, I come from a very poor family background. My father was a pastor and a policeman at the same time. My father retired as an inspector of police. So the 200,000 naira in 2000 was part of majorly his part of retirement benefit that he gave to me as his child. That's because I don't know what he saw in me, but he called all of us as a family and said his spirit is asking him to give me part of the retirement benefit. And I started this business with 200,000 naira. The first car I bought was a Honda Civic. From Honda Civic, I made a profit of 70,000 naira, and I now bought a Honda Prelude. And from the Honda Prelude, when I bought the Honda Prelude, that was in Macaulay. That was when they were doing 2 million man march for Abuja. And I was among the list from Macaulay that were coming for the 2 million man march. We were paid for 5,000 naira then, I'll never forget. And so when I came, we were at Old Parade Ground. A whole lot of people from every part of the country were here for the 2 million man march. And I slept in Old Parade Ground. That was my first time of seeing high-rising. That was my first time of seeing dual carriages. That was my first time of seeing overhead bridges and all of that. You get it? And so my mind drew to this city immediately. And I felt, this is a better environment than the one I know in Benue. And again, because I have a quest to want to grow and become a better person, I now told myself, I said, listen, I will do better in Abuja than Benue. And that was when I started this car business, like I said, right? And I look at Benue State, what is said till tomorrow as a civil service state. And so if I want to grow and I want to go into car business, is Benue the right place for me to grow? Abuja. And when I came, I saw all the fanfare of Abuja. I decided this is where for me to be. And I went back. I told my dad, I want to come back to Abuja. I want to stay in Abuja. My father said, no, who do you know Abuja? I said, I don't know anybody. He said, no, but you can't come to where you don't know anybody. I said, no, I want to go. He said, how do you want to do it? I said, I want to go. He said, how are you going to be feeding? I said, sir, hunger does not kill anybody. I want to come and struggle. That time, my mindset was simple. All these structures that I'm seeing, I told myself, the people that own these structures don't have two heads. And I believe strongly that if I come and I start well, and I am consistent, and I'm focused, it's only a matter of time I will get there. That was my belief, and trust me. And that was how I moved. After like a month of dragging with my father, he allowed me to come. I drove myself in the Honda Prelude, so I came to Abuja with my car. Like I said, part of my father's retirement benefit, 200,000 naira that was given to me. And so when I came, what was the story? I located myself in Zone 3 shopping complex, right? I called a friend of mine, his name is George, he's in America now. He said, oh, that he has a friend in that place that is going to talk to each other, that I will meet him up and be staying with him. So he later called me. I went to meet the guy. The guy's name is Uduka. He sells office facilities, chairs and all of that in Zone 3 shopping complex. I met him. I told him from George. He said, yeah, George told him, and that was it. From there, in the evening when he closed, I thought I was going to follow him home. And he said, no, that I can't go because he has his family members. The only thing he can do for me is I should be sleeping in his shop. Well, and the first day I slept in the shop. The second day, I wasn't comfortable sleeping in the shop, but I was sleeping in Zone 3 shopping complex. What next was I doing? In the night, I would collapse the seat of my chair. I would sleep inside the car. In the morning, I go to Zone 3 shopping complex. I pay 5 naira to take my bath or to go to the toilet and change. That was it. I was doing that consistently for over 2 months. And one day somebody told me that, there's one plateau guy that sells cars by zone 1 traffic light. I met the guy, introduced myself to him, and we came close. And I started staying with him. And that's the story. Like I said, it's a whole lot of story, right? But I'm trying to cut it short because of the time. You understand? But again, that is my story. And I don't hide it. And I'm very proud of it because it has helped shape me. And that's the truth. And so there are a whole lot of younger ones out there, you understand, that are thinking that because of their background, they're not going anywhere, or they're thinking they are struggling. No, listen, you have to struggle to become a genuine human being in future. Listen, there's no rich man in this country that doesn't have a story.
True.
That's the truth. There's no big man that doesn't have a story.
Knowing how you have, let me use it in this way, knowing how you are a grandfather to many car brands in Abuja and in the country at large.
Not really a grandfather because there are a lot of people that started this business before us.
Okay.
Do you understand? They are equally there. But again, in the business, if you want to define success, as far as Abuja is concerned, you get, I'm one of the people that you can define as one of the people that have gained favor and grace before God in this business. There are people that have started before us. They have done well in their own rights. Let's get it right. I don't like making comparison. I don't, because there are, now again, success is relative. Do you understand? Success is relative. There are some people too that are very contented where they are, and they can define that as their success. But in the general context, it's left for people, you get, to define what we're talking about, right? I don't like to be seen as someone that is proud or someone that is, I don't look down on anybody's success or progress. So what you just said now is actually very relative, right? But again, I cannot call myself in this business as one of the grandfathers. No. But again, whether you like it or not, as far as Kefiano is concerned, it's a name and a brand in automobile that can never be forgotten as far as the history of Abuja is concerned and the history of Nigeria is concerned. Because we've been consistent and we've done well over time, and we're still in the business and we'll still continue to be in the business. And the truth is, right now I've pushed for that. You get to be one of the companies that, have gotten the license for assembling and manufacturing of cars in Nigeria, which is what my whole heart desire is to achieve from now another 5 years. And I know I'm going to achieve it.
Thank God.
Do you understand? And so these things are gradual process. You understand? But we're very contented where we are. Like I said to you, there are some people today that are born out of this place that are equally doing better than us today. And we are proud of it. And we're happy for them. That's the most important thing.
How have Christianity made an impact to your life?
Whether Christianity or Islam, I don't bring religion into what we're discussing about.
Okay, let me use the word religion.
Yeah. Religion is a bedrock of, or should be a bedrock of every human being that thinks right, because there must be something that guide or shape you. Do you understand? Now, I am not a believer of, let's say, religion, quote and unquote. It depends. Or rather, I'm not a psychophone when it comes to religious issues.
Okay.
I'm not. Do you understand? And again, because I'm not the type that talk about Christianity or Islam. I don't, because I believe again that I'm a Christian today by virtue of my family background. Some people are Muslims by virtue of their family background. And none of us discuss with God that we want to come to this life and become a Christian or a Muslim. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? And that's the reason why, for me, I do not see difference between Christian and Muslim. And to be very sincere with you, now, you've been here since, there's the mosques in my building.
Yeah,
I built it. There's nobody's 1 naira that's there. Even the Muslim people that are praying there, they didn't contribute 1 naira to it. I have contributed a lot in building churches too. Do you understand? But again, it doesn't make me a psychophone. I am very conscious of what I do. If you want to go there, I am very deep. I can tell you, both religion, both Christian and Muslim, we're all deceiving ourselves to be following either Jesus Christ or Muhammad. Right? These are people too that came into this world just like me and you. But again, they carry a grace in them as far as I'm concerned. Do you understand? And then, what is the difference between Islam and Christianity? If you go and look at it, there's virtually nothing different. And that is why for me, as a Christian or a Muslim, we all know what is right and what is wrong. If you're a Muslim, you are doing those things that is not right. It doesn't mean that you're going to see God. And if you're a Christian, if you don't do those things, quote unquote, that is not right, you're still not going to see God. And that's the truth. For me, just like I have children, right? I have 3 sons. I have Sean, I have Favor, I have Jamie. 3 of them are my kids. Right? Now, I teach them almost the same thing because they're coming from the same background. Now, the way they understand what I teach them cannot be the same. I don't know if I'm making sense to you.
Yeah.
But again, something synced in them, they know my personality and they know what I want in terms of discipline. But again, the way they interpret it is different. They can decide now if they grow, the understanding they have will make them go their 3 different paths. But still, with the fear of me, their father. And still with the reasoning and the doctrination I give to them as their father. But the way they decide to interpret it and handle it, cannot be the same. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. That is the way I see Christianity and Islam. And that is why, whether anybody likes it or not, Islam is seen as what? The religion of what? Peace, quote and unquote. But that is what they say. That's what they portray. And if you're a Christian too, you know that Christianity too is a religion of peace. I don't know if I'm making sense to you. When I'm telling you now, I'm going very deep.
Yeah.
You need to have a very high IQ to understand what I'm trying to about. Do you understand? But again, at the end of the day, we all know, or they all know, using the example of my kids now, they all know what I like and what I don't like. Regardless of how you want to interpret it or go by it. But then it doesn't make the 3 of them wrong completely, and it doesn't make the 3 of them right completely. It is left for me now, knowing how they are going about it as their father and what I taught them to be able to define how I look at it or perceive it as what is right or who is wrong. And that is why I cannot judge them by their own understanding completely. I can judge them to what I think is disobedient to me based on what I said I don't want. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. That is how I try to equate it with how we live in this life and God. Because I can tell you for free as a father, there's none of my child that I hate or that I want to see him dead or not alive, or that I want to see him get into anything completely mess that I can throw my face away from him. That is the same way I see God. God did not create anybody in this life to go to hellfire, being a Christian or a Muslim. But that is why he gave guidelines for you to follow, whether a Muslim or a Christian. That is why in Islam, if you kill, it's a sin because you didn't give life. You cannot have right to take life. It's the same thing in Christianity. If you steal, it's a crime. The same thing in Christianity. If you rape, it's a crime. The same thing in Christianity. The only difference is how we interpreted it. And that is why I say Jesus Christ came in the form of what? Human. Muhammad came in the form of what? Human
as well.
So can we look at it from that perspective, outside the grace God has given the both of them? Because whether I would like it or not, there's a grace. Whether I would like it or not, there's leadership. Anyway, let's go back to the main interview because we have deviated.
Yeah, and it's actually very deep. It is very deep where we're going to. So let me just ask one question then before asking the last question that I would really, really love to ask you. So knowing how far you've come here, one, did you grow with your peers?
Now, I gave you the story of me sleeping in Zone 3 shopping complex and how I came with my Honda Prelude. Now, as at that time when I came again, of course, some of the people that I schooled with in Benue State University and some that I grew up together with in Makurdi, a lot of them too have moved to Abuja and they're already making a living. Some of them are working, some of them are bankers, some of them are working in the ministry and all of that, right? So when I came, over time, I started locating them one by one. And then you call one person, you'll be like, have you seen Susu person is working in Susu place? So that's how we were meeting up gradually. Now, amongst all of them, the advantage I have then was that I have a car. They don't have a car, but they have a job that they're making money. I don't have a job that I'm making money. Do you understand? Because I just came in and I was just parading around. And don't forget, there's something I did not tell you, which I'm going back again. When I was in Makurdi after my school, I coordinated Delta State University program, Abraka, in Makurdi. I was the youngest university program then, as far as Nigeria is concerned, when they were doing satellite campuses. Now, I lost the job in 2001 because of the closure of satellite campuses by the then President Obasanjo. That was when distance learning was now introduced. And so it was after then that I started the business. So, like I said to you, the first car I bought was a Honda Civic. And so I sold it for 270,000 naira. And so I made the profit of 70,000 naira in less than a month. And then my salary as someone working with Delta State University was 30,000 naira a month. And so I began to make comparison. That was when I know the magic in business. Because if I can wait to work for salary and collect 7,000 naira in a month, and here am I just paid the self, and I made 70,000 naira as profit. Because it was the 70,000 naira that I went now as a profit that I went back to buy a Honda Prelude for 230,000 naira there. Because of the added profit that I had. Do you understand? Now, that was what changed my mentality, and I said I'm not going to work for anybody again. Because then I told myself, if I can sell 2-3 cars in a month, that means I'll make more money. So why should I work for someone? And that was when the issue of work stopped in my mind, and I've never worked for anybody since that time to today. Now, coming back to what you asked me. anytime I drive out, I meet those friends. They're the ones that will buy food for me. They're the ones that will buy drinks for me. We're always hanging out. Now, they need me and I need them. But it happens that they need me more than I need them because every young man wants to be mobile. You understand? So it was off my head that I decided, let me be smart to take advantage of what I have, you get, to earn a living and to keep myself moving. And so for any of my friends that calls me then, when they're closing for work, come and pick me and say, I don't have fuel. You say, come, I'll go buy fuel for you. And truly, if I go, we go to filling station, he does full tank for me or buy half tank for me. Then we'll go to somewhere and sit down and drink. Because he's working, he's the one that will buy the drink and pay for the food. And that's how I'll survive it. You understand? And before you know it, we're going to sit like in a group of 5 or more friends. And some of them, it's just like them booking me for the next day. Tomorrow if I close for your call, I say, I know get for it. Take 2,000, go buy for it tomorrow, come carry me for office. So I was practically collecting money from few of them. That was the strategy I drive in surviving. And I used that to survive.
Nice.
Do you understand?
Nice.
They never give me idea of Kefiano Globals. No. I was using them to stabilize. And I actually stabilized until when I became stabilized. But again, I can tell you for free that I've never forgotten people. People that knows me knows I still carry my friends along till tomorrow.
That's lovely.
Till tomorrow. Because the truth is, there's nobody that can write his story without where it's coming from and the contribution of a lot of people. Even they might not contribute anything for you financially, but the fact that they give you some sort of comfort when you're with them within those periods, they've added value to your life.
Your contexting come next year. So what do you feel to bring for your people?
What do I feel to bring for my people?
Yeah.
It's a whole lot. I think I need to sit properly to answer this question because that's the future, right? Now, let me say this. I never believed I was going to go into politics because in my life, I believe strongly in business. I'm a promoter of the private sector with my whole heart because I'm a case study when it comes to the private sector. And now I've given you my background story and how I got here. And so I am the type now that encourages younger one, right, to look at their environment and see things that can make them earn a living. And the reason why all of us go to school is because we just want to get knowledge. But all of us cannot work in government offices, whether you like it or not. And especially with the advent of technology now, AI is taking the job of people. So you must think outside the box. And the only way you can think outside the box is when you believe and get engaged in the private sector. The private sector is the highest employer of labor in the world because you can sit from the comfort of your house and earn a living, especially with technology now. Right? Now, having said that, that's why, again, I do a lot of things with the younger ones, with the youths. I have a creative hub in Just that I teach a whole lot of younger ones for free. You understand? About different aspects of the private sector. You understand? Now, apart from that, I'm a humanitarian. Like I said to you, in my life now, I don't want to be remembered by how much money I have, but how many lives I've touched. And now I've come to realize again that the only way you can give a bigger impact is when you are in government. Because I have gone around trying to see what I can do to touch lives. Like I said, I have widows that I take care of. I have orphans that I take care of. I go for prison visits. I do a whole lot of free medical treatment. I don't want to lie to myself. I don't have the kind of money that can make me get to that number of people that I really want to get to. Now, I am not equally saying that I want to go into politics because I want to make money to reach out to them. No. But if I'm in government, I can be a voice to push from government what needs to get to the people to get to them. But as a private sector person, if I like, I can sit in the comfort of my office and shout and do whatever. Nobody will listen to me. They might even turn me out as anti-government. And they might decide to come after my business. But if I am there, I will use the Constitution to back up what I'm trying to do for the people to benefit more. That is all I'm trying to do. If I am in government today, the major thing, I am not the type that sees road construction, primary school construction, digging a borehole, and doing all that as an achievement. I am not that kind of person. If I am there, I will do all I can to see that these younger ones are being considered in entrepreneurship skills training and giving them startups and probably even registering companies for them and to monitor their growth. Now, no matter how much money you spend on human beings, it's not a waste, especially in the aspect of private sector, because once the person begins to grow as a government, you can begin to tax them and get back any money you have spent back on them. And that's the whole essence of the tax and taxation. People benefit from government and government should benefit from people. And so, there are so many things that I'm looking at driving. Again, in another different context. Now, as a businessman that I am today, in this business that I am, I have grown from the ranks to get to where I am today. Right? I know all the loopholes in this business and other businesses. One of the major problems and challenges we have as far as Nigeria is concerned is the policies that are being made to drive businesses in Nigeria. And the major problem we have is that the people that are doing these policies and that are the drivers of these politics have never done business. So how do you do a policy that can run my business genuinely the way I want it to be run? And so, that is why I decided, okay, fine. In as much as I equally want to touch people's life using the Constitution in driving some of this narrative. Again, the private sector is the highest employer of labor. We equally need to get involved for us to be among the policymakers. Now, somebody will just sit in the Ministry of Finance and bring out policy about my business that he knows nothing about. He doesn't know where it chokes me, where it's going to strangle me or not. And the major problem we have with the policymakers is that they do not carry stakeholders along. Now, you're a media person. The people recording us, me and you now, yeah? You might be seen as photographers or videographers. Now, they know the intrigues of what they are doing more than myself. And they know the challenges that they're having and what they need to make them grow better. Then I'll sit in this office and now bring out policies and give them rules on how to do this business without me knowing. Am I going to strangle them or help them? And so now, as a private sector person that's trying to venture into politics, if I go, I am going to be among the policymakers. For instance, there are a lot of things today in the business that is strangling some of us. Take, for instance, some of the custom acts, right? The Nigerian custom that are guiding my business. There are some things not equally to strangle them, but we can sit down and look at some things, right? And see how it's going to favor both the federal government and the people doing business. I cannot do these things if I'm outside the government or the policymakers. So it's not about entirely myself. It's about what I can contribute based on the knowledge that I have, on the things that I have. It's going to help the country to generate more revenue, to touch a whole lot of people's life. That is the reason why I want to go into politics. Because, see, I have come to realize that professionals, business people, always see politicians as dirty people, always see politicians as the most unsincere people, see them as devils, see them as whatever. Politicians have been given different kind of names. But if we want to tell ourselves the truth and look at the reality of it, politics has come to stay and it has to stay. And some people must fill in the space. If we are not involved, why do we complain? So you cannot just be complaining. Get involved. And that's why I'm always advising professionals, should get involved because they are the ones that are more hit again by the policies of the government. So if the Nigerian political setting today is driven, let's say 70% by professionals and people in the private sector businesses, trust me, this country is going to change because already they know what to do. But if you look at people that just come from nowhere, just because of politics, they just come and enrich themselves overnight, what do you expect them to do? You cannot give what you don't have. That is the reason some of us have to go into politics.
The last question that I would really love to ask is for our audience. People who are in their lowest right now and hoping to be in their highest, and I've heard your stories. So what can we say to them, or what can you say to them that would push them?
The only thing I can say to people like that is simple, right? You have to identify what you want to become in this life first and foremost.
Identify. Beautiful.
By the time you identify who you want to be and what you want to become, then you have to lay down procedures, because there are procedures in getting to anything in this life. You have to lay down procedures on how to get to that thing you want to get to. You have to learn from other people that have been there. And that is where mentorship comes in.
Yeah.
You have to learn to be consistent. Because the major problem we have with this generation and the Gen Zs is lack of patience. Everybody just want to make money immediately.
Yeah.
And that's why I keep saying that once you're in a hurry to make it in life, you'll definitely make mistake. And that's how horribly you're going to feel. You have to go through the ranks and you have to be patient. And you see, for somebody like us, we have gone through a lot. I'll just give you my background story. I have gone through a lot in life, and trust me, right? It will be difficult for me to go down because I grew up through the ranks. And so, with all that I said, consistency is one of the key, and majorly again, sincerity of purpose, the fear of God, and do not eat anybody's money. Business and life itself is a function of trust. People must learn how to build trust in you and believe in you. Most of us see doing business today, and a whole lot of people, the capital might not be entirely yours. People trust you to drop things with you. Do the right thing. But you must define what you want to be and who you want to be. And sincerely, just be consistent. Like I said, a lot of younger people just want to make money today. They're very much in a hurry to make it. And like I said, once you're in a hurry to make it, you're going to make mistakes. You must learn to go through the ranks. And that is the reason why, again, somebody like me, I don't like being on the social media, not because I don't like social media. It's because I do not want to put societal pressure on the younger generation. Today, 90% of what you see on social media is make-believe. And that's the truth. And so a lot of these younger ones glue to their social media, not knowing those people that are displaying those wealth and whatever, where they are coming from, what their journey is like. And so I have the capacity today to be driving different cars without changing it for another 6 months or more. I have the capacity to be driving different cars every day of my life. I have the capacity to be doing beautiful videos every day. As I am today, for the past up to 5 years, I don't repeat clothes. Any native you see me where I sew new one every other day. 110%, you need to know this. There's no week that I don't sew clothes. Are you with me? Anybody that knows me that close me will tell you that I don't repeat clothes. That's how I give out almost all the time. And so I have the capacity to do all of this. So now, if you see me on social media changing clothes almost every day, you see me changing cars almost every day, a lot of these younger ones wouldn't know that I have come through a journey. They just see me and want to be like me. And that's the societal pressure I'll be giving to them. So that's why I am not a social media person, because I don't want to give societal pressure to the younger ones growing up. And that's why you see a young man who go and want to kill his mother or kill his sister or kill somebody's daughter because he wants to make money. Just because you want to be like somebody like me, or be like somebody like Obi Kubana, or be like somebody like whoever, you can call the names. But you don't know that all of us went through journey.
It's a process.
It's a process. Finally, like I said, if you get what I just said now, I'm coming from my story, it then means that never give up, because your family background does not determine or define who you're going to be in future. Thank you very much.
Well, so far, we would have to cut it here, but it has been beautiful. It has been amazing here with the man himself. And then his story is one that stands out: resilience and keep going. You know, like he said, something that struck me is that he came from a very low background. And then if you see him today, you will be like, how? You have to understand something, process. So you just can't say today you want to be like him and then you will jump into tomorrow in 1 week and be, no. He said it takes time and then you have to take the process. And guys, it's been awesome. And hopefully we would have this next time. Maybe we'll have a full album for your whole life story, because I would love.
Yeah, I think we're going to have a plan to make it a series.
Yeah.
Can't give you the whole story. They can do it back to back. That time we're going to take time.
Yeah.
Relax. Yeah. And say a lot. I've just been cutting, like I said. My life is a whole episode. Trust me. Trust me, because see, there are ups and there are downs. A whole lot, right? But again, what makes you a person is your ability to stand all the ups and downs.
Do you know something? Something beautiful is that we are actually at the end of the interview, and he's still having something to say. So you're actually a rare piece, and I pray deeply that your heart desires will be granted. And as much as you have come so far, you keep going. More heights for you, sir.
Thank you very much.